welcome to Woman on Fire TV. I am your host, Allison Harvey, here with us while we do our global tour, our global entrepreneur, Miss Simone Millwood. And so we're going to London, England right now. Thank you so much for joining us, Simone. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. And how are you?
I am doing awesome. I'm so excited to have you with us on Woman on Fire TV as one of our global entrepreneurs.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for having me.
Simone, tell me something about yourself, what you do, and about Burna May Foundation, this passion of yours.
Okay. Well, my name is Simone Millwood and I'm 32 years old. And the Burna May Foundation came about because my mum had always told me that she wanted to start a charity, but she never got around to actually doing it. And it was only until she passed away in October 2012 that I decided that definitely I'm going to create a charity in her honor and in her name, and that the charity would embody everything that she herself lived and the things that she wanted to pass on to others.
Okay, awesome. So do you mentioned Jamaica, so I'm thinking this is where you're from and this is where people benefit the most from your organization, and you're living in London. So do you travel to Jamaica often then?
What I do is, because I know that I'm London based, I have people who are living in Jamaica already going and helping me. So whenever we have to send out barrels or anything like that, I already have my representatives who are based in Jamaica who will work with me, and for me, in order to make sure that everybody gets their packages and, the scholarships are given out. So yeah.
Okay, great. And how many scholarships have you given out since you started the foundation?
Since I've started the foundation, I've given out 2 scholarships and 1 bursary. But as soon as we have our grand launch, which will be in July, we will have 4 scholarships and 2 bursaries and 2 grants. So.
And tell me something, you talked about your mom a lot, and so your mom inspired you to start this foundation in her name so you can give back what she was unable to do. Did your mom ever have a chance to go back to Jamaica, or no, she stayed in London until she passed?
My mom was only able to go back to Jamaica, I would say, 4 times since leaving Jamaica when she was 20 years old.
Okay, that's great. I mean, it's really good when you can give back in such a fundamental way. And since you've been doing this, you started, when did you start? When was your start? When you actually put this into being?
I would say I officially started November of last year.
Okay, so you're about a year. So what has been a phenomenal moment for you since you started? Or you haven't gotten to that point yet. What has been a key moment, turning point for you?
I sent 2 barrels off to my friend in St. Vincent, and she has her own charity called the Taraji Foundation. And I had been asking a lot of people for bags, for shoes, for anything that they could spare. And she told me this story about a woman who had come over for Mother's Day, and she was just looking around. She wasn't really thinking of, actually receiving anything. She just came just to see what was going on because they were holding an event for Mother's Day. And the lady, started to cry because not only did she receive a brand new handbag, but she had toiletries there, personal products for women. And at that time, she really, really needed it, but she didn't have the money.
Right.
And so when you think something so simple as a handbag with a few tins of beans and, safe items, and then you have the feminine wipes and feminine, towels and stuff like that, and you realize something that is minor that we take for granted, especially in the West, when a person really doesn't have enough to even get those kind of things for themselves, it makes you really cherish even the smallest package can really change someone's life, and you don't realize the depth of, poverty or hardship a person can be going through in their life. And You know, when you do something as small as sending in a bag, it really is impacting a life of somebody.
What does your future look like for you? You just said, you know, you're putting stuff in place, but what would you like to see 20 years? When you look forward 20 years, where do you see the Verna May Foundation being?
Okay.
20 years.
20 years.
Yes.
I'm the type of woman that likes to walk in faith. So
Yes.
I would say within 20 years, I would like the Verna May Foundation to rival not only the Red Cross.
Oh, okay.
Yes, not only the Red Cross, but I would like us to be one of the major organizations, charitable organizations within the whole of the Caribbean. And I would like us to be able to have more of a political stance within all of the Caribbean countries within the Caribbean as well. Definitely changing legislation and actually changing laws.
Laws, yeah,
and
you
not
got to
just
change the laws.
level, you know, on a higher level of law and politics, you know. So that's definitely where I'd like to see the Verna May Foundation in 20 years.
What advice would you give to a young entrepreneur who's starting up like a nonprofit like yourself? What was something you would say to them?
I would say that if you can, get as much help as you can.
So tell me something. What is it that you at this point in your life is most grateful for?
Okay. I am most grateful for the ability to keep going on.
What is one of your favorite books? Because I know you talk about research, you talk about your mom. What is one of your favorite books that you've read?
I really, really do like reading the Bible.
Okay, awesome. What's your favorite writer?
One of my favorite writers would be a lady called Margaret Moore. She does a lot of creative writing. So yeah, Margaret Moore, definitely.
And what's your favorite quote? What's a quote that your go-to quote?
My go-to quote. Actually, my mum has a quote called "Bust true resistance." That was always something she used to say. It doesn't matter what you're facing. I know I've got like a strange thing where I'm just talking about challenges and overcoming challenges, but it's so important to character, and it's so important to making sure that you know what you want in your life. It's only when you have a challenge and you go through that challenge, you realize your own strength, you realize your own talent, and you realize your own determination to get to the other side. So that's one of the major quotes that I used to live by: bust true resistance.
Okay, that's awesome. So we're back. We started with Verna May and we're ending off with Verna May. What I'd like to say, thank you so much for being part of our global entrepreneur segments, and thank you for bringing us into your home in London, England, this very late hour. I hope you had a great time being part of Woman on Fire TV. It was an honor to learn.
Amazing.
About, you know, what you're doing for your mom and helping other people. So do tell us where we can find Verna May Foundation before we close off.
Okay. The Verna May Foundation website will be up in end of June, actually. Yep, the last week of June. And that's on www.vernamay.org.uk. You can also like us on Facebook. So that's www.facebook.com/Verna May Foundation. You can also find us on Twitter at Verna May Foundation, and YouTube as well, and Instagram.
Okay, awesome. So Simone, it was a pleasure speaking with you, finding out about what you're doing for your mom. I wish you the very best. And for all the students that you're going to help, you know, best of luck to them as well as they explore opportunities that may not have been possible except for the Verna May Foundation. So congratulations. Thank you for being one of our global entrepreneurs. Thank you for being on Woman on Fire TV. My name is Allison Harvey. This evening we were with Simone Millwood out of London. England, talking about her foundation, which was named after her mom, Verna May. My name is Allison Harvey. I am your host. Join us again for Woman on Fire TV when we showcase one of our global entrepreneurs. Hello and welcome to Woman on Fire TV. This is our global episode. My name is Allison Harvey and I'm your host today. Also, we have with us from Toronto. Yes, we went to Montserrat, we went to Florida, we went to Paris, and now we're back in Toronto with Jamila Jackson. Jamila, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much.
So I was really excited when I saw, what you're doing. And so tell us a little bit about who you are and what you're doing so people can learn, like I did, about, what you're about and the amazing work you're doing with your documentary.
Sure. My name is Jem Jackson, or Jamila, as a lot of people like to call me. By trade, I'm a social worker, but what I'm working on right now and I love doing is a documentary series called I'm Still Standing. And that series, it's a project that I love that highlights women and women specifically who have overcome great adversities. Anything from being shot, sexual abuse, domestic abuse, mental health concerns, all of those sort of things, substance abuse, and so much more. So by trade, I'm a social worker, but I love doing this project as well.
Okay. What made you start this? What encouraged you? What made you say, look, let's do this documentary. I want to showcase these women. What really kick-started you to doing this?
It's such a simple question, but it's the hardest question to answer, I feel.
Yeah.
It's not something I ever thought of doing. It's not something that I really ever dreamed of doing, but it's something that God just dropped in my spirit and in my heart, and something that I fought for a long time, but eventually decided to obey, and it's been amazing. It's been an amazing journey since then.
So is it still in production, or is it almost at an end, or when can we see it?
So right now you can see the first season, which was done last year, at imstillstandingseries.com, and that is 6 episodes. And this year we just finished filming our first leg. We filmed 12 episodes so far. So we're in the post-production phase right now, just editing, and then we're gonna pick back up filming again in August. So it's gonna be a lot more than the first season, and I hope that it just continues growing as it is so far.
Okay, that's awesome. So how long does it take you to shoot a season?
Oh Lord. Oh man, like the first season, the first 6 episodes, because it was also new to us, the whole team.
Exactly.
Man, there's a lot. I don't think people realize how much there is.
Work.
A lot of work. It's a lot of work.
So you understand where I'm coming from this afternoon, right?
Oh yeah, for sure. It's a lot of work. Sound, the cameras, everything.
Lights. Yeah. Things working, things plugging into each other.
Exactly. So much mics, there's so much you have to consider. And so I would say last season it took us long. It took us a few months actually. This season it went a lot faster, way faster. As I said, last season we did 6 episodes. This season in our first leg we've done 12. So
oh wow.
Yeah, and then we're gonna
start learning
August. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing with when you start off a business, you learn. You go in with all these grand ideas how things are going to work, and then they don't really work like that. You still do it, you still accomplish it, but you really get into what it takes to get to the other place. So
exactly.
Kudos for you to hang it in there and doing what you love and passionate about it, even with all the ups and downs. And that's what we like to talk about on Woman on Fire. What keeps you going? What motivates Jam to keep going when you have all of these different things going on? Plus, you have a full-time job as well.
Yes, that's such a good question. I mean, what motivates me is mainly right now is my 11-month-old daughter. Yeah, she's sweet. I don't know what happened when I gave birth to her, but since then I feel like I can do anything. So honestly, Like, I feel like it can do anything. And I also feel like she empowers me because of that, and that I have to show her that it's possible to make the impossible possible. And I feel like I have to be that example for her. Although she's just 11 months old, but I still feel like it's very important.
Yeah. Well, you can tell her this is what I did when you were like 11 months old, you know, so which is empowering because, you know, you're doing a series and it's just started. But when you look into the future, what do you see for Jem Jackson? Where do you see this going? Do you want to go to television? Do you want a movie? Where do you see this going?
That's a really good question. I feel like, I feel like for the near future, I just want to continue filming this year, maybe hopefully 12 more episodes. And then for the long term, I'm hoping to bring it to whether it's television, radio, keep it online, or maybe there's like a new platform that comes about that doesn't exist yet. Basically, whatever medium is going to get it to the most people possible. So I really, it doesn't matter to me what it is, to be honest, as long as people are able to see these women's stories.
So how many different women are you showcasing every time you do a segment? Is it just 1 or 5 or 10? How do you do that?
That's a good question. The first season, it was 1 at a time. This season, we have 1 episode that has 2 sisters, actually. And then there's another episode that has a panel of 3 women. So it varies. Usually it's 1, but this season we've mixed it up with a few different numbers.
Yeah, so you can see what works, what doesn't work, and all that kind of this stuff. I think as a new entrepreneur, that's what we have to do, right? We come up with all the great ideas, but then what exactly works? So it's a learning, it's a learning curve all the time. So what advice would you give to new entrepreneurs who are going out there in the film industry, because that's where you are, and as you said, there's so much work to be done. It seems simple to shoot a show, but when you're behind the scenes, it's so much work that you have to put into it. So what advice would you give to young filmmakers?
Oh, the advice I have is just do it. Just do it, because if you think about it too much, you're gonna scare yourself out of it. Just do it. We often don't pursue what we know is our passion and our purpose because of fear, you know? And so just jump right in. And if it doesn't work, it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. I actually believe failure is really important, and I believe failure actually brings you closer to where you need to be. It's a process of elimination. If something doesn't work, you're just closer to what's going to work.
Yes. That's a good way to look at it. You know what I mean? Because a lot of time we don't want to fail. We don't talk failures. We talk about success. Exactly. But the steps to get to success is failure. There are bricks marked fail. No. And I think a lot of young entrepreneurs don't understand that, or we kind of soft sell it. Don't worry, if you do this, and you'll succeed. And a lot of times you do all that, you still fail. Exactly. Because it may not be the right time, it may not be the right audience, it may be a lot of things that go into play. Because you could spend a ton of money on something and it flops, and somebody could come along and spend very little money and explode.
Exactly. And it's the market, right? Sometimes it's just the market, what's going on at that time. There's so many different factors.
Yeah, it's like these things called spinners. I'm like, what is a spinner and why is it so popular? Have you seen that?
No, I haven't.
This new thing called spinners, they're all over. So it's like the marketplace, like you said, it just pops in and then it pops out. Exactly. They may sell 1 billion spinners and then next month nobody wants them.
Exactly.
You know, so it really is being tenacious enough to hold on to your passion and believing in what you want to do, even with all the ups and downs and the failures. Like you said, sometimes the road is not straight as we would like it to be.
It's never straight. Bro, never. It looks like, you know, just crazy. We think it's going to be like this, and it's really like, you know.
All over the place. Awesome. So would this be one show leading into other shows, or you're just going to be building on this continually, let's say 5 years down the road, 10 years down the road?
I really don't know 5 years down the road what it will look like, but I hope that it's evolving. I hope that the foundation stays the same, you know, in telling these women's stories and empowering other women that they can do it too, right? So I'm hoping the foundation stays the same, but who knows? Who knows? Who knows what it will be? I'm open to anything really, so I'm excited about that.
So where can we find you? Are you on Twitter, Instagram? Where can we find Jem and your stories? I'm Still Standing. Is that the name of it, right? That's the name of the documentary. I'm
Yes.
Still Standing. Okay.
I'm Still Standing. Yeah. So you can find me at imstillstandingseries.com. On Twitter, I'm Jamila Jackson, JEMILA Jackson. On Instagram, I'm Jem Jackson, JEM Jackson. On Facebook, I'm Still Standing Series. You can like our page and follow us, but I would say if you want all the information in a succinct way and you want to maybe apply to tell your story, submit your story, you have a story to tell, you can go to imstillstandingseries.com, submit story.
Oh, awesome. So tell us a little bit about that. You're taking people's stories. So if you're listening, I like to pull like little things that jump out at me when I'm talking to people. So if you have a story to tell, they're able to submit your stories.
Yes, and so on our website we have a form. You would just give us, a synopsis of what your story is. We'll have a chat and see if it's something. It's not saying your story isn't good enough or whatever. It fits with the show, because we get
with the show, exactly.
So many submissions, right? So just seeing that it fits with the show and that you're 100% comfortable. Like, we've had people submit their stories and it was just something they felt like, kind of a release, but they weren't comfortable going on video and sharing it. So just making sure people are 100% comfortable in sharing their story, because these topics can be very, sensitive for the world to see. So yeah.
Okay. So what are you looking for when you say somebody can submit a story? What are some of the pointers people should think about before they actually go and do it? Like you said, some people may say, yes, I want to share it, but when the reality of what they're sharing comes to light, it kind of, okay, I don't want to do this anymore. So let's say about 5 things that people should think about before they submit their stories. What are some of the lead things that they should decide to do before?
That's a good question. I think you have to have some level of healing. I don't feel comfortable sharing someone's story if they're still really entrenched in the situation or it's still very raw, because when you share your story, like right now we might not have a lot of viewers, but you never know. A video could go viral online.
Yeah.
So it's very important to think about that. It's very important to think about safety. We've had a few people that have actually mentioned that's a concern of theirs. The story, specifically around sexual abuse. They're talking about people who are walking the streets in Toronto, right?
Yes.
So considering that, you have to be really okay with it. That's pretty much it. I can't think of any other reason. There's no story that's too sad or too simple. As long as your story will encourage someone, then we love to share it.
Can people use pseudonames in their stories? Just because you just mentioned about people walking around. So if you're telling a story, chances are other people are part of your story and they may not want to be told their stories to be told. So do you encourage people to use, pseudonames if they're telling the story, or get written permission? You don't want to be sued either for, broadcasting somebody's business that they don't want to be known because this person decided to tell their story.
That's a good point. That's actually a really good idea. I've never really thought of the pseudonym.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah, that's a really, really good idea. I think that's a really good idea. I do encourage people not to mention names. Like if we're in an abuse situation, we don't mention names or anything like that, just in general. So, but that's a good idea, the pseudonames. I think that's something we'll...
Yeah, so they get a name, you know what I mean? It could be Tom. Tom knows who he is. So, yeah, Tom knows, right? John knows who he is. So, hey, I'm talking about you, and if you want to go tell everybody it's you I'm talking about, go right ahead. So this way you protect yourself, because these days people are quick to sue, right? So you don't want to get to that end of the spectrum when you're just starting out. And you're right, people, it may be a new series, just like my show is a new series, but people start picking it up and they want to see what other shows, they want to see where you started out. So it's always good to have good material to put forward and not be in conflict with anything else. So kudos for you for vetting the people who come through and making sure, as you said, that they're not raw or still in the situation. I think that's important, that people are not vested, maybe removed, maybe 2 years, 3 years, whatever, out of the situation.
Exactly.
Yeah, okay, awesome. So tell me something. We like to ask about what are you grateful for? That's one of my pet things to ask people. So what is Jem grateful for?
Oh man, I'm grateful for so much. I thank God every day for this life. But the main thing I will say, specific especially to my career, is my family. My husband and my brother, they do all my filming, my sound, they do everything, my post-production editing. It's amazing. Like they are relentless. And my mother watches my daughter while I film, in
Wow.
addition to watching her during my 9 to 5. So right now, for example, she's watching her. So that's like more than an 8 hour day,
Yes.
for her. So I could not, there's no way I could do this without them. There's just
Yeah.
no way.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, God provides, right? He makes a way. If He puts something in your heart, which He obviously did to you, then He's going to provide a way for you to be able to walk that pathway. From somewhere He's going to provide. He's going to open up those channels. So we're going to have a little bit of fun now because I mentioned fun when we started, and it's always all fun. It's great. Movies are fun. Looking at other people's stories are great as well. So tell me something. What are some of your favorite things? What's your most favorite book to read?
My most favorite book. I would say I used to read so much. I haven't been reading as much as I would like. I just read a book by Lily Singh. She's a famous YouTuber, and it's called How to Be a Boss.
Okay.
It was like, you wouldn't think a YouTuber book would be good, but it was excellent. I was really, really impressed. It was really excellent.
Okay, awesome. And is she your favorite writer, or do you have a favorite writer?
No, I don't really have a favorite writer.
Yeah, okay. What's your most favorite movie to watch? One that you watch more than 5 times?
Coming to America.
Pardon?
Coming to America.
Oh, you watch more than 5 times?
Yeah, I watch that at least a few times a year since I was a kid. I love that movie so much. Like, I feel like I haven't seen a movie since then that portrays Black people, although it's a comedy,
Yeah.
portrays Black people in that light that's,
Yeah.
just
Powerful.
powerful.
Yeah.
Even though it's a comedy setting, it's just,
Yeah.
I love that movie so much. And Snowpiercer,
Okay.
the Korean movie, I love that movie. It's amazing.
Okay, awesome. And what is your favorite food? What's your favorite dish?
Oh my
What do
God.
you like to eat if you had a choice?
I loved food. One thing. Oh,
One thing. Yes, Jam, one.
that's so hard.
What's your go-to food?
It's hard. If I could eat one food forever, what would it be? I love sushi. I'll say sushi.
Sushi forever?
Yeah, I think I could eat sushi.
Yeah.
Or
Okay.
jelly coconut.
Forever, Jam?
Yeah, I think so.
That's a lot of jelly coconuts.
I love jelly coconut. I love sushi. So I think, yeah.
Yeah, jelly coconuts and sushi.
Hmm.
Yeah, okay, great. And what's your favorite quote?
My favorite quote, it's where there is life, there is hope.
Aw, that's nice.
Yeah. I believe, like, as long as someone's breathing, as bad as they could be, it doesn't matter, that as long as they're breathing, there's still hope.
Yeah, that's awesome. Thank you so much, Jem. It was such a pleasure chatting with you. I look forward to seeing you and your series, and sending, because I know a number of people with great stories. So I'm definitely going to share and let them know. And I'm glad. So we're here. And if you have any stories and you're listening to us, feel free to go to Jem's website. Jem, let you send us out your website again.
I'm still standing series.com.
Okay, so you can go there and you can submit your stories, and you have to be comfortable with it. You have to be out of the situation, and you have to be able to go in front of the camera and talk about it, right? Am I good?
Yes, exactly.
Okay, great. So contact Jem if you like to, people to hear your story, because you can impact lives when you share your story and get other people to say, oh my God, that happened to me. You know what I mean? Yeah, and look how she moved on beyond that. So the success that comes after whatever bad episode you had, or moments, family, friends, workplace, because there's so much stuff out there that people don't talk about.
There's actually one of the episodes is about workplace bullying and harassment that was so bad the person went into a mental breakdown. and ended up in the hospital and everything. That's how bad the bullying and the harassment was. So if any story, I mean, we've had from last season, even though we just did 6 episodes, we've had messages, you know, from people in domestic abuse situations saying, oh my gosh, I watched Talia's video and I feel so encouraged, or Marcella's video about infertility. Like, we've gotten messages, so many messages from women saying, okay, I think I can do this. And yeah, it's been amazing.
It's incredible. Must be a good feeling for you to be able to share all these stories. So thank you so much, Jem, for being with us, sharing what you do, because I think it's amazing. I think that women, we empower the women, motivate them, and inspire them to be true to themselves. So thank you for being one of the people who are doing that with I'm Still Standing. And I love the title. It's so awesome. Thank you so much for being with us.
And thank you so much for inviting me. This has been an amazing opportunity. Talking to you has been amazing. Following up, you're an amazing lady. So we have to keep in touch, and all the best to Women on Fire TV. It's exciting.
Okay, thank you so much. And let's thank Jem for being part of our global entrepreneurs from Canada, like myself. And so we have other women from all around the world. Thank you for joining us. We had the pleasure of speaking with Jem Jackson of IamStillStanding.com. So tune in, check out her series, and keep up with her, like her page. She's on Facebook and all this kind of good stuff. So I am Allison Harvey. I am your host for Women on Fire TV. Thank you for joining us in our segment of our global entrepreneurs. And Jem was from Toronto. Bye-bye.